Hello there. Your provider will be with you in just a moment. I'm just here to grab some vitals from you, okay? Alright. Would you mind just confirming your name and date of birth for me? Okay. I'm glad I got the right person. Okay. So I'm going to start by taking your temperature, okay? I'm going to have you open your mouth for me and lift your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Okay, I'm just going to place this under your tongue. I want you to lay your tongue on top of the thermometer. There you go. You can close your mouth. Alright, we'll just hold this for a few moments. There we go. About 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm surprised with the heat of the day it's not a little higher, but it's quite cozy in here today, isn't it? They finally turned on the air conditioning. It's been nice. Okay, let's go ahead and take your pulse, alright? Do you have any preference as to which arm I take your pulse from? Okay, just come right here. I'm going to put my first two fingers along the radial artery, just at the base of your thumb. And we're going to sit here for about 15 seconds. Okay. So your pulse was about 88 beats per minute. Is that normal for you? Okay. All right. So you tend to get a bit of anxiety before seeing a provider. I can understand that. I am also one of those. Even if there's absolutely nothing wrong, I still have a bit of anxiety towards it. Okay. Let me know if there's anything I can do to make you feel a little more comfortable. All right? Okay. So now we're going to be taking your blood pressure. Okay? Do you mind if I use the same arm that I took your pulse from, or does it matter to you? Okay, very good. So I'm going to grab the sphygmomanometer here. Okay, have that ready. And I'm going to pop my stethoscope in. Very good. So let me just go ahead and wrap this cuff around your arm. Okay. And I'm just going to hold the dial here. And we're going to place the stethoscope right in the crook of your elbow there. There we go. Let me just make sure, there we go, the ball is all the way shut there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill up the cuff with air here. It's going to get quite firm, but it only lasts for a couple seconds at the most, all right? Okay. I'm just going to deflate the way and then check one more time. Okay, and close the valve. Okay, and deflate a little bit. There we go. Very good. Okay, all the way. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and take the cuff off your arm. And just place that to the side here. Okay. There we go. Blood pressure is definitely within normal limits. Okay, so lastly, I just want to check your oxygen saturation. I have a little clip here. If you could just hold out your finger for me. Okay, clip that on. All right, we're just going to sit here for a minute and let that get a good reading. Okay. You have anything super cool going on after this? Probably resting. Yeah, that's a good idea. I know when it gets so hot and muggy like this, it's just really nice to stay and be in a cooler environment. But I don't think it'll last too long. Just a little bit. Okay, let me check that sensor. Okay, I'm going to take it off. Good. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to let the provider know that you're all ready to be seen, and I hope your examination goes well. Okay? All right. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome. My name is Calliope, and I'm going to be performing your examination today. How are you doing today? Okay. I hope by the time you leave this examination, you feel even just the littlest bit better. Let me see here. Okay. Do you mind just confirming your name and date of birth for me? Very good. And is that your preferred name? And how do you like to be addressed? Very good. Okay. So it looks like today we are doing a cerebellar examination. Any particular reason why you wanted to have this examination done today? Okay. Very good. Okay. Are you in any current pain or have any current illness at all? Okay. Very good. Any changes to your medical history we have on file here? Okay. And what about your family history? Any changes there? Okay. And any changes to your allergies? No? Good. And what about your medication list? Okay. Very good. All right. So today we're going to be conducting a cerebellar examination. A cerebellar examination is going to involve a lot of coordination and motor testing. There is a bit of reflex testing, as well as assessing your speech. And we're going to be looking at the tone of your arms, your wrists, your legs, your knees, all around the different muscle groups, okay? So the cerebellum is Latin for little brain. Your cerebellum sits right below the cerebrum, your big brain that we usually think of, on the brain stem, right by the pons. The pons is Latin for bridge, which makes sense. So your cerebellum is right below everything, and it's divided into two halves. It primarily governs motor control and coordination, but it does have other functions as well, such as language and attention. So we are going to be assessing if there is any sign of impairment or cerebellar disease, okay? That sound okay to you? All right, I know, a lot of big words. I'll explain what I'm doing as we go along, okay? Okay, so from this point onwards, I am going to need to be touching you for the examination. Is that okay with you? I have your permission to do that? Excellent. Thank you so much. If at any point you feel any pain or discomfort, please let me know, okay? Good. So our first test is going to be a little, you just sat down, but I'm going to be having you walk around the room, okay? All right, so I'm going to have you get up for me, and I'm going to have you walk to the end of the room, okay? When you get to the end of the room, I want you to turn and come back, okay? I'm going to be watching you. If I sense that you are unstable at all, I will make sure that you do not fall, okay? Very good. So if you could just walk to the other room and turn and come back. Very good. Now, if you could go to the other end of the room, but this time we're going to do something that's known as tandem walking, which is walking heel to toe. So you'll put your foot out, and then your toe should touch your heel, heel to toe, just like that. So your feet touching as you go along, okay? I'm going to have you walk to the end of the room, heel to toe. Good. And turn and come back for me. Okay, and go ahead and stand here. So how did that feel to you? Did you feel any sort of shakiness, unsteadiness, or any of the movements stiff for you or hard to do? Okay, very good. I'm just going to have you stand there just a moment. And we're going to do a little test to rule out any sensory ataxia. Okay, so if you could put your feet together so they're touching and your arms at your side, I'm going to have you close your eyes, and I'll be here to make sure that you don't fall. You can, just try to stay as still as possible. Try to stay standing straight, okay? All right, close your eyes for me, and I'll make sure you don't fall. Just gonna stand here a few moments. Okay, very good. You can go ahead and open your eyes and sit down. So that was what is known as a Romberg's test. And with some people, their brain doesn't really understand where their body or their head is at unless their eyes are open. And should we have seen that, we would be looking at a different sort of disease than anything to do with the cerebellum. So you stood pretty straight there, didn't have any obvious waffling there. So that's good. That's good. Okay. So now I'd like to assess your speech a bit. Sometimes with cerebellar disease, we see people who speak in a slurred, staccato sort of way. So I'm going to have you repeat a few different phrases for me, and I'm going to listen to how your voice sounds and how you're able to make those words. So if you could just please say British Constitution for me. British Constitution. Good. And baby hippopotamus. Baby hippopotamus. Good. And how about careful tattletale? Careful tattletale. Good. And how about separate cacophony? Separate cacophony. Good. And how about Irish wristwatch? That one's a tongue twister. Irish wristwatch. Good. Okay. Very good. Okay, so now I want to take a look at your eye movement. We're going to be looking for if there's any nystagmus or if there's any impairment in the smooth pursuit of your eye movement. I'm going to sit back a little bit. Okay. And I'm just going to have you look at my finger here. I want you to follow my finger using only your eyes without moving your head. Okay? Alright, so just follow my finger here. Follow my finger. Good. Good. Just watching your eyes as you follow my finger here. Follow the finger. Good, 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 good. Good. And let's try up, down. Just do the best you can. Side. Side and up, down, side, side. Good. About diagonally up, diagonally down, diagonally down, diagonally up. Good. Diagonally up, diagonally down, diagonally down, diagonally up. Very good. Okay, and go ahead and blink a few times if needed. Alright, so now I want to look at if you have any problems with your saccade eye movements or your more rapid eye movements as opposed to the smooth eye tracking, okay? So I'm just going to lean over here, and I'm going to place my hand right here. I want you to look at my hand, maybe where my middle finger meets my palm here, and I want you to look from this spot to this spot, back and forth, and back and forth. And I want you to do that as fast as you can, okay? So back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. Okay, you do that for me? Just move your eyes real quick, back and forth. Okay, keep going. And okay, that's good. You can take a moment before we do the other side. I know that can almost make you a little dizzy. Yeah. So I'm going to come to this side. I'm going to hold up my hand here. We'll do the same thing. You know, look at my nose, and then where my palm meets my middle finger here, and back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, as fast as you can. Okay? Go ahead and do that for me. Just back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. Just a few more moments. And there you go. I'm going to go ahead and write some notes. You just take a little break there. Okay, so no sign of any dysmetric saccades. Okay, so now we're going to do some tests on your upper limb coordination, okay? So I want to look for any dysmetria or any tremors, okay? So I am going to just hold my finger right here. That's a good distance away, almost a whole arm away from you. I want you to touch your nose and then touch my finger, okay? So it'll look something like this. Like that, okay? And I'll just be tracking my finger around, and I want you to keep touching my finger and touching your nose. Do that as fast as you can, okay? So go ahead and reach out, touch my finger, and your nose, my finger, nose, finger, nose, finger, nose, finger, nose, finger, nose, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Last one, back and forth. Okay, very good. So next, we will be looking at something known as the rebound phenomenon. So I'm going to have you hold out both your arms straight in front of you with your palms facing the floor, okay? And in a moment, I'll have you close your eyes. I'm going to be pushing down on each of your arms, and then I'm just going to release the pressure. Depending on how your arms react can give us a clue into what might be going on, if anything. Okay? Alright, so reach your arms out in front of you for me. Okay? And close your eyes. There we go. Very good. So, I'm just going to hold down one arm and release. Good. One arm and release. Good. One more time. Down. Release. Okay. Down. Release. Good. Go ahead and put your arms down and open your eyes. That was good. Your arms bounced up just a little bit before correcting, which is a normal response. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the muscle tone in your arms. So I'm going to have you just let your arm go real loose and relaxed. I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm going to be testing the range of movement on your muscles. I'll be bending your arm, rotating the wrist, moving it all around, okay? All right, so I'm going to start with this side. So I want you to just let me take the weight of it, okay? And I'm going to move it. I want you to just let it move freely, okay? All right, good. So I'm just going to rotate the wrist and elbow, shoulder, okay? On the wrist. Okay. Very good. Let me just do that to the other side. Let me take the weight of this arm, supporting your elbow with my hand and your hand with my other hand, okay? Just rotating the wrist and moving. Elbow here, rotating around the shoulder, okay, back and forth, rotating the wrist, okay, very good. All right, how did that feel to you? Any pain? Any sort of stiffness? No? Okay. Very good. So, next we're going to be checking for a phenomenon known as dysdiadochokinesia. Quite a long name, but what it means is that you would have an inability to perform fast alternating movements. So I'm going to have you do a little test where you hold out your hand, put your hand in the other hand, and flip your hand back and forth as fast as you can. Believe it or not, some people can't do that. They have cerebellar disease. So that's the whole point of checking this. Okay? So I'll have you just do that. So hold out one hand, palm up, and place the other hand, palm down, and flip the top hand so your palm's facing up, and then flip it so it's facing down. Okay? So just like this. And then I want you to do that as fast as you can. Just like that. Do that for me. Okay. Just keep going. Very good. You can stop. We're going to do that with the other side. So, one palm facing up, other facing down. Turn it over to face up. Turn it back. Back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. Okay? You do that for me as fast as you can. Good, 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 good. Keep going. All right, you can go ahead and stop. Okay. All right, so you don't have any sign of dysdiadochokinesia, which is good. And now we're going to be moving on to your lower extremities. So first, I'm going to have you lay back on the table, okay? All right, and now I'm going to be looking at the tone in your legs. I'm going to be moving your leg around, rolling around the hip, and we'll be checking the knee joint as well. Okay? So just let me take the weight, and I'm just going to roll the leg around. Now, some people just have more reduced tone, and some people with cerebellar disease have normal tone in their muscles. So this is just something that we double check and take into account. Okay, the other side. Just going up and around. But if we have any other signs that point to cerebellar disease, in addition to a tone issue, then we have just a little bit more evidence towards that. Okay, so now I'm going to be picking your knee up. So I'll be just putting my hand right at the back of your knee and bringing it up real quick, okay? And I just want to check the way that your leg lifts, okay? You don't have to think about it. Just let your legs go floppy, okay? Let me just pick up the knee here. I'm just going to lift that. There we go. And down. Okay? Lift and down. Good. Other side. Lift. Down. And lift and down. Very good. So, most people, your heel slides back a little bit. Some people, the heel comes off the table. I just wanted to check that that was all normal. Okay, so now I'm going to have you do another little test while you're lying down, and then I'll have you sit up. But I'm going to have you put your heel of one foot on top of your knee. Okay, can you do that for me? If you have this heel right here, you could put it on this knee. Good. And I want you to just slide your heel down until you get to the ankle. Okay, slide down, lift off, and go back to the knee. Okay, slide to the ankle, lift off, go back to the knee. Can you do that a few times for me, rather briskly? Right. Knee, ankle, lift, knee, ankle, lift, knee, ankle, lift. Very good. Let's do that on the other side. I'm going to have you put your heel of this foot onto the knee of this leg. Okay? And slide it down to the ankle, lift, go back to the knee, slide down to the ankle, lift, go back to the knee. Okay, you can keep doing that. Slide down. Yep, as fast as you can, just keep doing that. Knee, ankle, lift, knee, ankle, lift, knee, ankle, lift. Very good. Okay. Go ahead and rest your legs. And I'll be just a moment. Very good. Okay. So lastly, I'm going to have you sit up for me. We're going to bring in the reflex hammer here. We're going to test your knee jerk reflex. All right. So I'm just going to sit back a bit and let your legs hang freely off the table. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to do a real quick tap, tap, tap. Okay. Just like that. Ready? Good. The other side. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. That's good. So, that will conclude our cerebellar examination. So far, I haven't seen anything that suggests that you're having any issue with your cerebellum. That's good. Do you have any questions for me at all? Can I say dysdiadochokinesia again? Yeah, it's a big word. Let me spell it out. D-Y-S-D-I-A D-O-D-O-C-H-O-K-I-N-E-S-I-A. Dysdiadochokinesia. That's a fun $10 word for you. Yeah, use that at parties. Any other questions for you? No? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and sign off then. Very good. So that will complete our cerebellar examination then. Thank you so much for coming into my office and having this examination done by me. Really appreciate it. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you. Goodbye now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like this video if you want to, comment if you'd like to, and subscribe